My name is Bryce, and I'm your host for The Inbound Secret, where we're talking with top performers and health experts and sales badasses alike about their strategies to optimize their well-being and performance. Once again, this is The Inbound Secret, and let's get rocking and rolling.
This is the inbound. This is the inbound. This is the inbound. The inbound. This is the inbound secret.
Welcome back to The Inbound Secret. Once again, I am your host, Bryce Vance, and today we've got Nick Abraham. If I remember correctly, you're down in Texas, right?
Yes, sir. Dallas, Texas, best city in the world.
I've spent quite a bit of time in Dallas myself. Three Forks has phenomenal fucking steaks. Place is delicious. Well, without further ado, I'm going to let you intro yourself, but to everybody listening who may not know who Nick is, you're 21, right?
Yes, sir.
He's a 21-year-old rock star coming out, still studying in college, if I'm not mistaken. Finance, business, started an agency when you were a freshman, scaled the agency, turned that into a SaaS company, and now you're kind of just rocking and rolling, helping businesses do cold outreach, right?
100%. That's exactly what we specialize in.
Awesome. Well, introduce yourself to everybody, and let's kind of get the ball rolling because I've got a surprise for everybody. You and me talked about it a little bit, but we're gonna kind of wing it and see how it plays out in this episode.
Yeah, 100%. So, as you said, my name is Nick Abraham. I'm currently a senior at the University of Texas at Arlington. My freshman year in college, I started getting into the agency space. We were growing Instagram pages. We were actually able to grow a couple big pages to 50,000 followers, and we just really gained the skill on how to do that. And so it was really cool. My freshman year in business, being 18, 19 years old, you don't really know much about business. And so it was really hard, taking that skill and acquiring customers to grow their pages. But once we did, and once we kind of figured that out, Instagram management, I'm not sure if you know much about it, but it's not really fun. And there's a lot of tedious work to it. The margins aren't high. And it's more about being creative. I'm more technical. I'm more about strategy. And so what I really enjoyed with the agency lifestyle was business development. And so now we created a SaaS product where we're just helping other marketers, other agencies, other SaaS companies, anyone in the B2B space scale up by just filling up their calendar. And that's what we actually do as well for, certain clients as well. That's basically a quick rundown of who I am and what we're doing at Elevate Leads.
Awesome. So we're going to pivot. Everybody that's followed the show for a little bit usually knows that I cover 3 gold nuggets, 3 favors at the end. And we kind of have this progression of like past, present, future. We're going to change it up a little today. So this is kind of a plug too. So whoever owns pod decks, send me sponsorship money. I'm cool with it. But so we're going to plug pod decks really quick. They actually had their advertising on point. And I'm always happy to support somebody who takes the time to get their advertising on point, especially in a digital space, because that's what I specialize in. So I took a look at it. They caught my attention, caught my eye, retargeted me like a fucking machine. So I was like, all right, I'll check it out. So for those of you who are like, Facebook ads don't work. Yes, they do. I bought 5 of these. So now, Nick, you're the first guest that we're going to use these on. So I'm going to let you choose. I'm going to read through what the 5 options are. You choose which one we're going to do, and we're just going to have some fun with it.
All right, let's do it. I'm excited.
So the first one is Would You Rather? It's Would You Rather questions for you to keep the audience entertained. The second one's just called an episode deck. This is starting prompts. So this is like a topic that we would discuss. This is called What the Heck? So this is, I'm assuming, random questions or random pieces of information. We've got the second edition interview deck. Once again, this is prompts. And then we've got the black edition of the interview deck, which is, I'm assuming, questions. Which one do you want to do?
Let's do the episode one where we go into deep discussions.
Episode deck. All right. So we're gonna wing this. Are you excited?
All right.
Are you excited about it?
Man. Yeah, for sure, 100%.
I'm excited to check these out. They came in the mail not that long ago. I forgot I had them, to be honest. And then I saw them on my desk, and I'm like, all right, We're going to check these out. So how do you want to play this? Do you want to cut it? Do you want me to just choose from the top? Or you want me to choose a random?
You decide. Surprise me.
All right, we're going to cut it right in the middle. Comment on industry gossip. This is a perfect one. This is a fucking perfect one. So you've been in the agency space for a little while now. And you've probably seen, and I know the listeners and watchers of The Inbound Secret, this has been kind of a hot topic. We did a expert highlight interview the other day with a gentleman who used to work at Facebook, kind of one of our hidden secrets, right? He's a rock star, and he kind of came in and showed us some of the inside stuff. Now, the most common items for industry gossip today are ClickFunnels bans, Facebook bans, algorithmic bans, and then the abuse or circumventing systems that are causing these issues. What would you have to say? Because it's to comment on these. I'm going to let you kick this one off. What's your comment on the gossip going around in our industry these days?
Okay, so I mean, biggest thing right now is like all those course creators. I think that, you know, they maybe had one good month and they start a course teaching you how to do whatever they did, and they price it up like insane, and it doesn't really provide any value. Me being the freshman I was, I fell for a lot of those little solutions and those done for you kind of courses and Shopify stores. So I've been scammed quite a bit my freshman, sophomore year. I learned a lot of lessons.
So it's funny that you bring that up, because it's kind of a pet peeve of mine, right? Like, if you can't do, don't teach. And
100%.
like, I'm a course creator. I've got like 6 coming out this year, total of like 8 programs. But I've been doing this for a decade. I've been professionally doing it for 7 years, and I've been doing it for my own company for just shy of 4. We didn't release a course until this year because we needed to make sure we knew what the fuck we were doing. So, and I can't tell you how many times I see somebody like John Smith, fresh out of high school, saw one YouTube video from Russell Brunson, and all of a sudden thinks he's a badass. And quite frankly, let's call it what it is. It's abuse, because it ruins
100%.
the industry. It hurts the client. And then like 80% of our clients, right? The same sob story happens. I found some dude online. He said he could help me, took $5,000 of my money, gave me nothing. Like 80% of our clients have been fucked over by somebody else, because that somebody else didn't take the time to learn.
Agreed, 100%. I mean, there's a lot of people that just want to make a quick buck. They're not in it for the long term, a long game. You know, they're not really, you know, I think the biggest thing you got to worry about, and this is why I've always stayed away from like paid courses where, you know, we have free courses that come with our memberships and stuff like that, just to kind of, you know, be a guide. But yeah, once again, you just shouldn't be teaching if you don't know what you're doing. And this is something I don't like about college as well, because like a lot of my professors that taught me marketing, they've never had a position with the company. They've never done anything. They've only been in school. So it's like, you know, they're going to teach me about the 4 P's of marketing. What is that gonna do for me? You know? So it's like, well, that's kind of like my whole bit about courses.
That opens up kind of an interesting subtopic, right? College is great. I went to college, but it's a dying industry. And it's not to say that higher education's bad. It's that higher education's evolved. If I want to go learn business management, I'm probably going to learn more that will actually impact my life from a private coach than I would from 4 years in university learning from some dude who knows business management from 1985.
100%.
It's just not actionable today. And I'm going to kind of call it as it is a little bit. Our education system's broken. It was designed and developed to make factory and warehouse workers. It was not designed and developed to create free thinkers.
I agree. I mean, everything I've learned within our agency and our business is just trial and error. Is really it. Like I haven't really gone through. I've gone through 2 programs that I highly recommend that taught me a lot to get me started. But everything else is just reaching out to people like yourself, industry leaders, and just really networking and asking questions. You're going to gain the most experience from just trying and failing. That's the truth.
100%. So before I segue, because you actually gave me a good segue into this next card, what are the 2 courses that you recommend?
Yeah, so I took 2 programs. One was from Nick Kozman at saleprocess.io. Really good. Like if you're doing anything B2B, SaaS related, it's amazing. And then I took Scaling with Systems by Ravi Alvabuela. He's absolute killer. Teaches you everything about systems, basically just how to organize your business. Those are the only 2 that I would recommend. Everything else I've been through, and I've been through a lot, and I don't want to, throw anyone under the bus, but a lot of those guys teach you really, one level, like, first, like, face level stuff that are very simple. Like they sold me on a virtual assistant and pretty much told me to just have the virtual assistant be on your account and message people. And that's how you're going to get, that's how you're going to get appointments set. And
that was a 9-hour course probably.
Yeah. So, things like that, all fluff, no real fundamental stuff that really help you out. So that's that.
Awesome. So to segue into the next one, debunk myths in your industry. I'm going to kick this one off because I can't tell you how many fucking times I hear this. For some reason, these are the 2. I'm going to name 2. First and foremost, a lead page, a landing page, a series of landing pages is not a fucking sales funnel. That's like 1/10 of one. Quit thinking it is. A sales funnel is your whole ecosystem, from cold contact to clients and ranting and raving fans and every little fucking intricate piece in that process. That's a sales funnel. A website, a landing page, a fucking click funnel is not a sales funnel. It's part of one, but it's not a sales funnel. 2, just because you have a sales funnel does not mean you can flip a light switch on and all of a sudden you own a Lamborghini. You still got to put in the fucking work. Okay. I'm going to throw an extra one in here because this one drives me crazy. You hear all the time in my industry, outside of my industry, basically in every fucking industry on the planet, the leads are bad. No, the leads aren't bad if they filled out a fucking form that you had to target them on and they gave you personal identifying information. There is some basis of them wanting what you're selling. The lead's not bad. You suck at communicating or you suck at follow-up, or quite honestly, your product or price point wasn't the right fit for them after they talked to you. Quit trying to blame it on somebody else. Salespeople have gotten fucking lazy. You are no, if all you are waiting on is somebody to come in, ring your phone, you answer it, and they hand you money, you're not a salesman. You're a clerk. Okay. Okay, my rant's over. I'm gonna let you go now.
No, definitely. So one thing I always see, and this is something I just hate, everyone relies so much on automation that they think that, as long as they do 1 million pieces of outreach a day, that their calendar is going to be filled up, and that's what they expect. And so we'll have people reach out to us and be like, hey, can you help us send, 1,000 emails a day? And I'm like, why would you want to do that? That does nothing for you. It literally does. Like, have you ever responded to a cold email that has no personalization to you? It just says, hey, so-and-so, this is what I do. Are you interested? Like, no. I haven't either, right? But I have responded to emails that said, hey, Nick, I saw that you're currently a student at the University of Texas at Arlington, but yet you're still running a business that's amazing. And then they pitch me with their offer. Yeah. And that's what we completely, build our systems on. It's like outflow does not equal inflow. Not all outflow is the same. If you could just focus on doing 20 to 30, really personalized outreaches a day, there's no way you don't scale your company versus someone who sets up their own SMTP server, starts sending, 1,000 emails a day and just starts blasting people with that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 mentalities there for sure. You are correct in the proper approach, relationships over just blasts, right? That's what builds a company. However, if you are the person that wants to send 1,000 emails a day, even with a horrible product, 1 to 3% of them are going to buy something. So there is some validity to email blasts as cold outreach for certain products. For scaling a B2B company, no, we already see 5,000 ads a day. We sure as fuck don't want to see yours unless it's personalized to us. Like, I bought these because they knew that I ran 2 podcasts. I was on a podcast tour. I had just done a radio show and I'm looking for TV spots. They hit me right when they knew that I wanted these. So I bought them.
Yeah, 100%.
But if they would have just slid in and been like, pod decks, get pod decks right now, buy them now, I would have been like, who the fuck's this guy? So
Agreed. And the crazy thing is that, like, it makes no sense to me. So like what we do for our clients is, we'll hire copywriters to research your prospects, write the personalized lines, and then you just do mail merge tags, right? And now the email looks personalized, looks really good, and you're going to respond, right? But yet people are like, oh, you just set up, automated drips on LinkedIn. I'm like, nobody responds to that. Nobody, right? So it's like, there's just so many different like sales tool. And this is the other thing like that I want to kind of get into. Like there's a million different sales tools. And this comes from a guy who runs a database company. There's so many different sales tools. There's a million different outreach tools. None of that matters. Like none of it does. What you do with that context or what you do with those tools to actually get those people to convert to, go from being a contact in a database to being a customer is what really matters. So it's more about the strategies and the innovations in those rather than, finding the best next tool.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Don't get me wrong. We use probably half a dozen tools or more, but we use them to free up our time.
Yeah.
Pretty much nothing else. Do we have an SMTP server? Yeah. Do we send blast emails every now? Yeah. Is that how we typically convert? No, that's typically a drip or a nurture system for people that have already said no, that aren't our qualified client yet, that we just want to keep in touch with to help.
Yeah.
Do we have automation on the front end? Absolutely. But it's like omnipresence automation. Like this podcast is going to upload to my RSS feed, and then it's systematically going to go to every social network that I've got it attached to without me doing anything. Like it's just going to do the thing. That's the type of software and automation that you really do want, because then you can focus 100%. On what matters, the client. You can focus on them.
And then another thing that I think a lot of people need to get debunked on, and this is the kind of clients that I'll never take on, is the people that only have, local businesses as clients and they provide creative services that don't really necessarily bring in an ROI. Like if you're marketing and you're not bringing an ROI, like I don't know if that's really marketing, because I think that's
So I actually love this conversation. So you know what the difference between marketing and advertising is, right?
Yeah.
One's paid, one's not paid, one's sponsored, one's not promotional, one's for an ROI, one's for market penetration, right? It's kind of an interesting concept to dive into. This is coming from a dude that runs a marketing and advertising and web company.
I want to hear your opinion. I'm actually interested.
There are many situations where you don't care about an ROI. There are many of them. For instance, when I'm trying to do market penetration or data analysis, I know I'm not getting an ROI on that, and I don't care about it. The 10,000 that I invest into that market is for data. I'm not looking for a return on that investment. I'm looking for knowledge from that investment. Doing a scrub campaign or doing a poll or a survey or customer response or doing an NLP test or doing a net promoter score. None of those are ROI based. They are marketing and advertising because some of it's free, some of it's paid, some of it's sponsored, some of it's product, but it's not necessarily ROI based. While I agree with you that if you're a marketing or advertising company doing anything, whether creative or not, for a client, and your end objective isn't to help them make more money, then what are you doing?
Yeah.
But it needs to be in respect to what the client wants. Because we have clients come to us and they're like, hey, we need you to run some marketing and data campaigns. We need you to do a market penetration. We need to see if this is viable in this area. They don't want an ROI from that. What they want is knowledge.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. This is kind of what led me to kind of, go away from doing the Instagram growth stuff. Because, at the end of the day, followers is nice. It's nice for these, because we were working mostly with medical professionals. And so it's nice for them to have followers and stuff. But at the end of the day, we had a high churn just because they were like, this isn't necessarily bringing us, patients that want plastic surgery, Yeah. But some stayed with us for very long because they just wanted to grow out their page and look a little bit more professional. So I agree. Once again, it is for what the client wants and fulfilling their needs. But a lot of these people that join our platform are creatives that are looking to find their clients. And I'm just like, if you're trying to offer, like, if you're a local business, that's probably not where you want to spend. You don't want to spend, 2,500 on social media management. It's probably better if you put that money into Facebook ads and work with an expert. But like, let's say you're on a higher end level, you're a corporate brand, obviously work on your branding, get that, fine tuned. But, I think at the local level, I think, you need to go for more ROI driven activities because, what's the stat? Like 8 out of every 10 businesses fail or like in the first 5 years, something like that.
Yeah, it's like 7 to 8 out of every 10 fail within I think it's 3 years, the first 3 years.
Something like that. So it's like in the beginning, you got to go for ROI. That's your main thing. That's what you should be focused on.
The biggest reason for failure is undercapitalization. They just don't know how to manage their money right.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't invest in things. They can't hire people. They can't pay their bills. I also do have to point this out. There's a lot of lazy fucking business owners out there. Okay.
I agree.
And don't get me wrong. I like to be lazy too, but do it in the right time. Like I build automation and hire people so I can be lazy. Right? Don't just not show up to work with one other dude that works there and fuck over a whole day's worth of clients. No, that's stupid. Don't do that. So
agreed.
The next card, this one's going to be a little interesting. We have to play Would You Rather, and we're going to do it industry based. Now, a lot of the people listening to this aren't agency owners, so we're just going to do like business stuff, right?
Yeah, go for it.
Now, what I'd like this to turn into is I'll ask a would you rather question, you'll answer it. And then if you've got a reason, a tip, a trick, a strategy, or a gold nugget that people can take action on, let them know. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So would you rather do cold calling or email marketing?
Email marketing, definitely.
Why?
Just because, with cold calling, there's not many good tools that I found that can get you direct dials. And then once again, I think it's just really like easier because I feel like with cold calling, you're spending a lot of time doing that. Like you're putting a lot of hours in for that, which is, which is good. But I feel like with email marketing, with especially like cold outbound messages, the way we kind of set it up, we're generating anywhere from, 15 to 20 appointments a week just off of cold emails. And it's all pretty much delegated. Like, we have our copywriters that are writing their personalized lines. I literally click 2 buttons and now I'm sending, 200, 300 emails throughout a week that are all completely personalized and can't be sent to anybody else but that person. So response rate's super high. Booking rate is extremely high. So it's like, I've had a lot of success doing that. Why would I focus on cold calling and, spending the hours doing that? I'm sure I could hire someone, get them to do it, but just to get that ball rolling is just, it's not my forte.
Okay. Would you rather work locally or nationally?
Probably locally. My family's all around here. I'm a family guy. I like to be in my own setting. I don't really like whenever I fly out, it's always like when I come back, it takes me forever to kind of get settled down again. Yeah. So I like having my routine and stuff. So I'd probably stay locally.
Okay. Are you a morning person or a night person? Would you rather wake up early or go to bed late?
Probably wake up early. I feel like I get most of my real work done in the mornings, and then I get to just kind of relax throughout the day, go to the gym and, come back and finish up some work. So morning, definitely.
I'm like the exact opposite of man. I'm not a morning person, at
Really?
all. No, I've been actively waking up earlier and earlier, but it's weird. I could stay up through the whole night, no fucking problem, not even a question. But if you're like, hey, I need you up at 6, I'm like, motherfucker.
I'm the complete opposite. I'm usually out by 10 or 11 p.m. at the latest. And that's even if I have to go out somewhere or something like that, 11 p.m. I'm getting sleepy, but pass out kind of thing.
All right, let's keep this ball rolling so that we're not just stuck on one topic this whole time. Talk about your favorite famous dead person.
Famous dead. Oh, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. Definitely. That one hit home for sure. Been a huge fan since I was a young guy, and I'm still shocked that it actually he's actually gone. That still blows my mind. That was in Florida with my girlfriend, and I was at her apartment. I just saw like a TMZ like news flash kind of thing on Instagram, I think, and I was
Mhm.
like, "There's no way this is real. Absolutely no way." So that one was a pretty crazy one to see.
Yeah, I'm still not really sure how that happened because it's not like they were doing anything crazy.
Yeah, exactly. It just I feel bad for him. Just I mean, obviously he died, so obviously I feel bad for him and his family. But the fact that he dedicated like his whole life to the game,
Yeah.
and then he just retired what, like 2-3 years ago,
Yep.
and like I want to work hard and then be able to enjoy 30-40 years in just doing whatever
Yeah.
I want, and so I feel like he didn't really get to enjoy his life to like the fullest extent because he was just, I
Yeah.
mean, he loved the game, so obviously he loved what he was doing, but still it's just like you need a time to just be able to sit back and just look back and relax and not do anything,
Yeah.
so
Oh, for
I
sure.
just, yeah, so I felt bad for that part.
For sure. Share the craziest thing that's ever happened to you.
This is actually kind of work related. It was pretty cool. So I had a client, maybe what, like 4 to 6 months ago, and she's a dermatologist, and she actually got on like Good Morning America, and she was just talking about like Kylie Jenner's product, and like I created like a really cool like video clip kind of thing, and then Kylie Jenner shared that onto her page, which was like
Oh,
pretty crazy because like Kylie Jenner, she's huge,
yeah.
So it was pretty cool seeing that being like up there and stuff. Just because it was like something that I physically created myself.
Yeah.
And then just seeing that on like, the public level. But yeah, that's probably like craziest thing that happened to me recently. I have a pretty simple, basic life, so nothing like extraordinary happens.
Yeah.
What about you? What's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you?
I've done some dumb shit in my life. So like I don't it depends on what you classify as crazy. Like I've been shot at. The first time I shot at as like 13 or
Oh,
14. I had drug issues in high school and college. Thank God I'm
mhm,
over that. I had like any mistake that a teenager could make, I've made,
mhm.
right? And so I put myself through the ringer. But I don't know if I have just one craziest thing. I think one of the coolest things that's been going on is now I'm a best-selling published author. I've got another book coming out, and we launched
Congrats.
a couple coursing programs. But I'd have to say that's one of the coolest crazy ones. But I don't I don't know what you classify as crazy. So well,
No, I mean,
most
congrats to you on that. I mean, the books and stuff, that's
I
impressive.
appreciate that.
Seriously.
I appreciate that. Most
Mhm.
recently, I found out other marketers are using my mantra. And
Oh,
so
really?
that's a thing. Yeah. So I've been saying you were made to thrive, not just survive for years. It's been tattooed
Uh-huh.
on me. Right.
Oh, okay.
And it was kind of like this secondary thing in my last business. And then it became a big thing in this business. And then it's been like the pushing vision and mission for the company. And we just
Hmm.
started publicizing it about a year or two ago. It's like the headline on every fucking website. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is our culture. And some other big name marketers, some of my partners sent me screenshots. I'm like, that motherfucker. And
Hey,
he like took it and made it an ad. And I'm like, oh.
wow.
So I made a funny post yesterday. I'm like, I made it, guys. People are ripping off my stuff. Does this mean I get a Lambo or do I have to buy a Lambo? How does this work?
You know what you need to do? You need to report them to Ballerbusters. Have you seen them on Instagram?
Uh-uh.
So basically, it's an anonymous page, and what they do is they just bust any of these fake marketers, gurus that are, and they have some big companies on there or big marketers on there, and it's absolutely insane. They have like all the evidence, all the proof, and then they just expose them, and it's awesome to see just because it really just helps you identify who's scamming people and things like that, and just aligning
Baller
yourself with the
busters.
best. Yeah, they got.
They're I can't show the picture because I actually like this guy
Uh-huh.
as like a motivation of like what you can do. There's
Uh-huh.
definitely a lot of good and bad going out there. I don't know personally,
Uh-huh.
but this one you can see what it is.
Yeah, yeah, I saw it a little quickly.
Just right off the bat, Jesus Christ!
They have a lot. They actually got featured on New York Times.
Did they?
Yeah, they're pretty big. Like they're getting up there. And it's crazy because nobody knows who they are, and nobody claims to know who they are either. They're like completely anonymous. So
They're
it's really
like
cool.
they're like anonymous, but not.
Yeah, it's hilarious, like the way they clown people. It's fun. It's a must follow page, most definitely. They busted like like one of the ones he has like a Shopify course. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he actually got banned off of uh Instagram. His name is like Kevin Yang or something like that. And this is the other thing I hate. A
Kevin
lot of
David's
marketers.
on here.
Yeah, he's on there. There's a whole bunch of high profile names on there, and like people have literally come out and said that
I'm
I've literally gotten screwed by these people. You know?
I am curious, and this is a hot topic. I am curious if any of the big names on here deserve to be on here. And I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second because I don't have enough information to make the judgment call. I haven't looked at what information they have. I've just scrolled through. But I do want to make sure that everybody's aware of this. That testament of the customer's always right's bullshit. Most of the time, the customer's a moron. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, we have been blessed that our clientele are fucking rock stars, right? The people that work with us, that we get the privilege of helping, that we get the honor of working with, are fucking rock stars. They're great people. I assume you feel the same about your clients. But there have been a few that came through that are not. And to them, even though they didn't do their job, they didn't run their company, they didn't have the staff to do it, they attempted to commit felony larceny against us to basically get free shit, steal some shit. To them, they would probably try and make a statement that we did wrong by them, when in reality, we did nothing wrong. We have the evidence to prove it. We over-delivered on literally every aspect. But to them, they got screwed. In the education and the info products world, only about 20% of people complete what they purchase. Without knowing if these people that are claiming that so-and-so screwed them, without knowing if those people actually used what they paid for, it's not a fair assessment to say somebody got screwed by somebody if we don't have all the knowledge.
Yeah, so one thing Ballerbuster does is they really go in depth with people's kind of testimonials and stuff.
Yeah.
And, most of the ones that I just don't align myself with are like the ones where they offer, like, their course is probably like, $997. I feel like that's everyone's price, like course price, $997. And they have like a money back guarantee on there. And then when it comes time to ask for that money back because they didn't get what they thought they were going to get, they just don't refund them. And so like things like that, like,
well, then don't put a guarantee.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like, if you put it in there, so it's
Yeah.
like you're obligated to refund the people that don't like what you did. And then there's a whole bunch of other ones where it's like for the Kevin Zhang one, I believe. So he would sell like done for you e-commerce stores.
Yeah.
And so like there's no way you can ethically price someone at like 10K for a Shopify store when you literally just buy a template and connect them with people from Alibaba and then expect for it to work. Like that's
I have something to say about that. You like we do done for you ecom, and we have 3 different models: Shopify, Amazon, Google, and Shopify, and then custom. And they start at, I want to say they start at $3,000 and they go up to $15,000. And we can price them that way because we're not just connecting Alibaba to a template that we bought on Google. It's like even our Shopify ones, like we custom build the templates, we upload a custom template. And then if they do want to use drop shipping, like Oblero or Alibaba, we help them set that up. We connect Orderlytics or Orderfy. We basically set up their whole fucking company, and all they have to do is go in once a day and click a button. But the ones that we charge like 15,000 or more for are true custom sites. We're talking custom CSS, JSON, and Python, fucking HTML back, CSS and JavaScript. We can do it on WordPress or hell, we could do it straight in your cpanel if we want. Like they're a true custom store, not a platform store.
Yeah. So so I mean, like with your higher price point, you're doing, I'm sure, a lot more work, obviously, and then you're also and then you're doing a lot of customer support as well to handle like any questions, concerns that they have. This guy doesn't do any of that. He avoided people's emails and texts, and I think he's actually in a case with the FTC.
Damn.
Yeah, and he's like my age. He's like 20. So it's like, imagine being 20 and getting sued by the FTC. That's
That
crazy.
fucking sucks.
And it's just because he had, and this is the thing. This is how he blew up. He paid a PR company probably like 15, 20K, and they got him on Forbes. They got him on all the big sites. They got him verified, and now he looks like an authority figure. And then he's just praying, and there's actually text from him where he's like, okay, let's go for lower demographic kind of people, like African Americans. Let's go for some Hispanics, things like that. And so it's
God damn.
This dude he's literally preying on people to kind of get them to buy his get rich quick schemes. And so there's literally like,
that's not right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like an endless amount of testimonials on him and what he's done and stuff like that. So it's like, and a lot of these people that are doing all these things,
yeah,
like I'm pretty sure Ballerbusters, they show a lot of like the court stuff, like them getting sued, them going to jail, a lot of this stuff. So it's like,
I'm gonna have to check this stuff out.
Yeah, it's really interesting. But yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. A lot of people buy courses and expect to make money the next day, when in fact, you should be watching and taking 10x action. So that's like my bit on it. So it's like, because it doesn't matter what strategy you have in your mind. You got to actually use the strategy and kind of go with it.
What? There's a post on here. It says, breaking, new $10 billion SPAC just launched with an all-star sponsor roster. And Bernie Madoff is right in the center of that.
they post a lot of hilarious stuff. I love it.
I'm like, oh yeah, okay. I'll have to check that page out for sure.
One time they went on live, and they just had a black screen, and they were talking to one of like their fans or something. And instead of someone just speaking, they would type it up on Google Translate and just do the voice activation thing. And I'm like, this is just it's too funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do. Oh, that's a good one, but I don't know who I'd put on here. Interview your biggest competitor.
Biggest competitor.
I don't know who mine.
Competitors.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot. Biggest one. I'd have to give it to Uplead for sure. They have. Have you ever seen Uplead's database, contact database? It's awesome. Like it seriously is. Like I have major respect for their team over there. They've got. That's probably the best database software I've seen. Yeah, probably them. Just because they enrich it in real time, which is really important for like bounce rates and stuff like that. And then they have a wide variety of people. But at the end of the day, databases are great, but manually scraped list probably the best to go with.
Yeah, they typically convert better.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do one more of these, and then we're gonna wrap up, and I'm gonna have you do the 3 favors. Favor 1, one tip or trick you'd recommend people do. Favor 2, any software recommendations or trials that they can take action on today. Favor 3, where can people contact you? But we're gonna do one more card first.
Definitely.
Boom. My top 3 goals and what I'm doing to get there. Go.
Okay, so actually I wrote out my end of month goals. I've already reached a lot of them. So quarantine has came and I have gained a lot of weight. So I need to shed 10 pounds. So do you know what 75 Hard is by Andy? Yeah. I think his name is Andy Priscilla. So I'm on that right now. So I'm hitting the 2 workouts. I'm gonna finish the end of this year strong for sure. That's one goal. And then in the business, I wanted to add. So I undershot myself big time for this one. I wanted to just add an extra 5K monthly recurring revenue, and we're only in the second week, and we've almost doubled that. I believe I think we're at like 7 or 8K, so almost doubled.
Hell yeah.
In the last 2 weeks, so that was pretty exciting. And then mentally, like I'm pretty big, and I was actually doing this before you called. I was actually reading a book. I just want to make sure I finish one more book for the end of the year. So those are my like 3 goals. What about you?
So I just picked up a new book. It has nothing to do with business. Usually most of my books are business related, mindset, coaching, all that. But I picked one up and it's called The Hero with 1,000 Faces. And I forget the author's name, but it's It's the gentleman who found back in the day, like 1800s, early 1900s. He's famous for this book because he found out that all mythos, all mythologies, all stories told throughout humankind have the same 7 elements for the hero's journey. And he wrote about it. And he created this whole methodology on it. And I'm super excited about reading the book because like I'll nerd out on mythology and stuff all day long. Second thing, finish recording. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm in my AV room. I've got about 20 more videos I've got to get recorded, and I want them done by the end of the year. And then last but not least, I want to impact at least one more person's life every week, ongoing.
Awesome. What are you doing to get that going?
It's going to be, we're doing a bunch of stuff. So I've got softwares dropping, we've got courses dropping, we've got programs dropping. But more importantly, I'm just going out there more, answering more questions, helping more people, doing more podcasts, just really getting out there and doing it.
Definitely. I mean, that's awesome goals to have.
So 3 favors time, brother.
3 favors. First thing, if you want to scale your business, just focus on doing every day 20 personalized outreaches. Don't focus on selling. Don't focus on doing anything but solving your prospect's problem. Because at the end of the day, you're in business to help others. And so if you can solve your customer's biggest problem, you will get paid well. So focus on doing 20 extremely personalized messages. Second thing, softwares that I would be on the lookout for. We're actually about to launch a LinkedIn thing. So if you want to check out Elevate Leads, go ahead. No, but that you definitely know how to do that. But we have put together a completely free course on how we're absolutely crushing it with cold email. You can get it at prospecting.elevateleads.com/cold email. And then just become a master with Zapier. You can literally automate your entire business, your entire workflows with just using Zapier. And so really learning how to, just be very knowledgeable on how to, kind of add everything in there. It's really simple, but there's a lot of other things that you can do with it. You literally make your life a lot easier by just automating all your workflows. Third thing, I said that weird, but if you want to contact me, you can get me at Nick Abraham on LinkedIn. Just straight Nick Abraham, founder of Elevate Leads, and you will find me really well.
Oh, so everybody listening, make sure you go hit up Nick. Once again, that's Nick Abraham on LinkedIn. Are you also on Facebook?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook as well, but there's like a million Nick Abraham, so I might not pop up as one of those first searches.
Okay, well, if you find him, you've seen his face. Find him on Facebook too. Those of you just listening, I'd hit him up on LinkedIn first. That way you can find him. As far as tips, tricks, strategy, and tools, Nick, you dropped some bombs today. I appreciate that. And thank you for being the guinea pig for pod decks.
It was super interesting. I'm super glad to be on here. And I appreciate you for interviewing me as well.
Absolutely. Everybody else, we will see you next time on The Inbound Secret.
This is the Inbound Secret.
My name is Bryce, and I'm your host for The Inbound Secret, where we're talking with top performers and health experts and sales badasses alike about their strategies to optimize their well-being and performance. Once again, this is The Inbound Secret, and let's get rocking and rolling.
This is the Inbound. This is the Inbound. This is the Inbound. This is the Inbound.